Being alive is expensive. Not only do daily necessities come with a price tag, but all of the fun parts of being an adult on this earth have gotten super fucking pricey. I remember thinking as a kid, and even a little bit as a teenager, that being an adult would finally give me the chance to buy all the cool stuff that all other adults seem to have. But now, in the oh-so-futuristic year of 2025, you really have to be careful with how you decide to spend your money. Balancing fun with responsibility and necessities is a greater challenge than ever, and it's a challenge we're all facing. We're always hearing bullshit like, save up, stop spending your money on avocado toast, or if you stop buying $5 lattes, you can save a lot of money. But the truth is, it's really not that simple. Now, this video isn't going to be about inflation, rising living costs, or the absolute shit show of an economy that we're dealing with. I'm sure that situation is going to get much worse, but we're sick of talking about it, right? So we can always talk about that later. Might as well keep pushing off that conversation until it's far too late, right? So today, I wanted to talk about the absolute fever dream of a show called Marriage or Mortgage. That's right. If existence itself wasn't bad enough, Netflix has created a reality TV show where contestants are forced to decide whether to spend their life savings on the wedding of their dreams or a down payment on their first home. Do people even buy first homes anymore? I know a lot of people my age who would kill to own a home of any kind. Honestly, even finding a 2-bedroom apartment for less than $2,000 a month would be great. So the show follows a real estate agent, Nicole, and a wedding planner, Sarah, as they attempt to persuade a newly engaged couple to either invest in their dream home or their dream wedding. Each new episode brings forth a new couple, a new budget, and different specifications. This show first premiered on Netflix in 2021, and most of the couples and the real estate and wedding planner are based in Nashville. And the majority of the couples featured on this show seem to have a pretty tight budget, and they're contributing most, if not all, of their savings, and they know that whatever choice they make, whether it's the home or the wedding, they'll probably have to put off their second choice for a long time. So even though the show is now a couple of years old, I honestly find it more interesting to watch it now in the present day. At the time of filming this show, I'd say on average, the couples are looking at houses in the $300,000 to $400,000 price range, and that was in 2021, and even some of them are in 2020. Nowadays, these couples would be lucky to find a house for less than $500,000, and the average cost of a wedding has not changed that much in the last few years, but the national average in the US is about $34,000. Oh my god. So today, in order to make myself feel a little bit better about my stupid life choices, we're gonna watch an episode of Marriage or Mortgage. By the way, I'm Sienna. Welcome to my channel. I'm still figuring out what the fuck I'm doing, but I like to talk about stupid shit that annoys me, so that's what we're doing. I let my boyfriend pick the episode this time around because I've already seen every single episode multiple times because I just can't stop showing it to people. And since I'm forcing him to watch it anyway, I thought it was fair to let him pick which one. So we're watching episode 3, Mother Knows Best. This episode follows couple Precious and Alex, whose main interests, according to the show, are eating, taking baths, poker, cigars, and their long, difficult journey with fertility issues. After getting to know the real estate agent and the wedding planner and, dishing some of their dark, juicy details, the couple is given the opportunity to describe their dream home as well as their dream wedding. For this episode, the couple provided a budget of $30,000, either for the full cost of the wedding or a down payment on a home. And before we get any further, I really have to get this out there. A wedding is not an investment. I hate when people use the word investment to describe a wedding cost. Spending money on school to become a doctor is an investment because, yeah, you had to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to get the degree, but by the time you leave school and you're out there doctoring, you can make all of that money back plus more. That's an investment because you're getting the money you spent on yourself back plus you know? Hiring some lady to like make a dance floor look nice and help you pick out a cake is not an investment. You're immediately losing money on the wedding and you're not going to get anything back for it. Unless you're a marketing wizard like Taylor Swift and you can have it featured pay-per-view and make your money back that way. A wedding is just not an investment. Honestly, if you think about it, these women on the show, the real estate agent and the wedding planner, they made a great investment by dedicating a couple of months to grift couples into making bad judgment calls. And I'm sure they've gotten a lot of new business just by marketing their business through the show. And then after the fact saying, oh, hey, you know, if you're interested in buying a house from me or planning a wedding with me, did you know that I had my own Netflix show? Anyway, the couple gives the grifters their ideal budget and wish list. They let the real estate agent know that for a new home, they need something bigger because Alex is a big guy. Not trying to be mean at all, they say it themselves. He's really big. He's super tall. Primarily, they need a bigger kitchen and a bigger bathroom for him because the one he has in their apartment, he cannot use comfortably. He is just too tall. They also specified that they would love to have a bathtub that he could actually fit in. They also mentioned that they'd like a space for Alex's mom to stay, as well as they would like some extra space for children when the time comes. And then for their wedding, Precious lets the wedding planner know that she has already spent $6,000 of their budget on a wedding dress, which I'm sorry, I could never. It's your day, do whatever the fuck you want, but deep down you gotta know you're a dumbass for that one. I'm sorry. I didn't even spend a third of that on my wedding dress and I still feel like a fool. The couple also lets them know that they've already picked out their venue with a cost of $8,000. They also mentioned that they're willing to give up on flowers in order to cut costs and that their priority is really just food and finding a way to honor Alex's late father. Additionally, they mentioned that they want their wedding food to be focused on a big cake, a plated dinner, and most importantly, a ranch fountain. You heard that right. You may have seen chocolate fountains or even a champagne fountain, but you bet your sweet ass that Precious is getting a fucking ranch fountain. And with that, our two heroes set off to see which of them can drain the sweet couple of their life savings first. Will it be the down-to-earth yet cunning real estate agent Nicole? Or will it be the manipulative, money-grubbing wedding planner Sarah? You might be able to tell from my description, I am a little bit biased against one of the hosts. But it's my show. I can be mean to whoever I want. Kitty. So this show is edited so we can get a healthy amount of back and forth between the couple interacting with the real estate agent and the wedding planner. However, it's going to be easier for my brain to just focus on house stuff first and wedding stuff second. So that's how we're doing it. So house number 1, described as the white brick house. We honestly don't get much more detail than that. It's 4 bedrooms and 3 baths with 1,800 square feet of living space. Really not bad. And it's priced at $337,000, which is actually under the couple's housing budget of $350,000. However, Precious immediately complains that she'll have to buy a refrigerator. The house came with all of the other appliances except a refrigerator, which I don't understand why that's such a big deal since the house is so underpriced, but whatever. And then she also says the master bedroom is too small. I gotta say, girl is lucky that she's not house shopping today, because one quick look on Zillow, the cheapest 4 bedroom and 3 bathroom I could find in the Nashville area was $469.9 thousand. I thought the house looked pretty nice, but based on how much Precious wanted to complain about things being outdated, I don't think she would go for my pick either. So Nicole attempts to bribe the couple by showing them the basement where she staged a poker table and provided cigars. Wow, you really know this couple, Nicole. Good for you. I'm curious to see how you stage the next few houses. Alex and his mom, which he brought his mom, by the way, who they call Medea, even though her name is Dorothy. And like, obviously I'm just a dumb white girl, but isn't that like a racism? So Alex and his mom, they like the house, but Precious still needs some convincing. House number 2, the renovated colonial, is a renovated colonial. It's a 3-bed and 2.5 bath with 1,500 square feet. It's a bit less spacious than the first house, but justifiably so with the price tag of $319,000. The couple don't have much to say about this one aside from they like the shower. They also complain about the size of the bathtub and then immediately proceed to both try and squeeze into the bathtub. Like, you already know that you're big and you struggle to fit into tubs in general, but now that you find this microscopic tub that even I couldn't fit into, you decide it's a good time to try to fit 2 people into it? I'm pretty sure that was just the producers trying to force a cute little moment with the couple, but come on, like, you really had to do that to him? Alright. Last house is what they call a turnkey house. My boyfriend thought they said the turkey house, so that's what we're going to call it. So the turkey house was a 3-bed, 2-bath with 1,700 square feet, priced at $315,000, the cheapest of the bunch. And immediately Precious starts complaining that all of the appliances are too old, which I'm gonna need some perspective on because I'm sure you're supposed to replace appliances every few years, but I'm a cheapskate hoarder that's had the same refrigerator for the last 15 years, and those kitchen appliances look a couple of years old at most. I know people who live in apartments today with appliances from the 90s, or at least the early 2000s. Those like gross old white ovens and matching white refrigerators. If she had walked in and seen one of those, I would understand, but come on, you're gonna flip out just because you don't see this year's newest LG model? I'm starting to think that she just was never interested in a house at all and is just trying to find some sort of excuse to not pick a house, but whatever. The couple say that they like the vaulted ceilings, the bath and the bedroom are big enough for everybody, and this seems to be the winning house despite all the complaining. Nicole, the devilish little con artist that she is, takes them into a spare bedroom, which she has set up as a nursery, and so the couple can have their mandatory heartfelt moment. See? Nicole really was paying attention to all the details. She really got to know those clients. Cigars? Check. Bathtub? Check. Poker? Check. Deep dark secrets about confronting the reality of infertility? Check. So, dream home picked out, let's move on to the wedding. So, first stop on the wedding planning list is a floral shop. Since the couple was convinced that they couldn't afford flowers, Sarah decides to convince them to splurge anyway. Precious reveals that her dream floral decoration would be hanging flowers, and Sarah immediately crushes her dreams by revealing that the price tag of such an arrangement would be in the ballpark of $5,000. However, she softens the blow by explaining just the basics of bouquet, centerpieces, boutonnieres would only cost about $1,500. Comforted by that fact, the couple are convinced that they indeed do need flowers at their wedding. And that's really the whole conversation. The wedding planner just tells them that their dream flowers are too expensive, but the basics aren't, so they might as well get flowers. Next stop is a cake shop, one of the couple's top priorities. Now, this couple doesn't seem too concerned about the flavor, which I found interesting. In fact, they don't even agree on a flavor in this episode. Precious wants red velvet with Oreo frosting, and Alex wants strawberry, and then Medea wants carrot cake. Rather than decide on a flavor, the couple needs to decide on how many tiers of cake they deserve on their special day. So, with a guest count of 115 people, Alex insists that they need a 5-tier cake. And after doing some wedding research of my own, I am just completely appalled with the cost of wedding cakes. I simply refuse to spend $500 on a cake, despite that being the average price. I would honestly rather buy 5 Costco cakes and stack them on top of one of another. The quality will likely be the same anyway, and I can almost guarantee that Costco cake tastes better than $500 bakery cake. So Sarah presents the couple with 3 ridiculous options. Option 1, a 3-tier cake for $350, which honestly sounds too cheap to me, but we'll go with it. Option 2 is a 5-tier cake for $2,000. Which, see what I mean? So you add 2 layers and suddenly your cake costs $1,600 extra. Make it make sense. Option 3 is to have a fake cake. So something the guests see but don't get to touch, with a sheet cake hidden in the back to serve. Yeah, this is the option that the couple ultimately goes with in order to achieve their wow factor, but it still somehow manages to cost $600. $600 for fake cake. Plus you have to go buy the sheet cake that everyone's going to eat. I really don't get this one because you could really just go out and buy two $300 cakes and have them together for the same price. Like, just stack them on top of each other or put them next to each other, decorate them all nice, and I promise you, your guests will not give a shit about how big your cake is. They just want to eat it and get drunk and go home. So, for her last trick, Sarah takes the couple to a catering company, and although Precious specified that she wanted a plated dinner, Sarah bewitches her once again with scary numbers. She informs the couple that a traditional plated dinner, due to the cost of a waitstaff, would cost them about $9,000. Instead, she wants the couple to consider a buffet completely centered around Precious's iconic ranch fountain. So Sarah convinces the couple that her ranch themed buffet, complete with chicken wings, celery, and Bavarian pretzels for some reason, is the best decision that they could possibly make within their budget. And at the low price of $7,000, the couple decides that a buffet is the way to go. So now that we've seen everything that the dynamic duo has to offer, the couple and Medea must come to a decision. Will their hard-earned $30,000 be going into the pocket of the shrewd real estate agent, or their calculating wedding planner? It's the wedding. They pick wedding. Of course they choose a fucking wedding. Not only did Precious know from the start that she wanted a wedding, because, I mean, she spent $6,000 on a wedding dress, but Sarah managed to convince her that she could have all of her wedding bullshit and it would be worth the cost. People in the wedding industry are scummy. I would know. I work in the wedding industry. Wedding planners like Sarah are really talented in the way that they sell themselves and the way that they describe the concept of a wedding itself. They'll use words like investment to make you think the money is going towards something worth investing in. They'll manipulate you into thinking that marriage is the first step to all other aspects of life. Like, you couldn't possibly buy a house without being married first, because if you get married first, you'll have a stronger foundation. Or, you couldn't possibly have children without being married first. Otherwise, how are those children going to know who their parents are? They need to see that wedding certificate. Don't you know anything? I feel like you can really tell in this episode that the wedding planner is a master of manipulation. At the end of each episode, both the real estate agent and the wedding planner come together and they kind of try to sweeten the deal for the couple. For example, Nicole, the real estate agent, managed to convince the seller of the couple's dream house to throw in an allowance for new appliances. Precious's main complaint about the house is completely taken care of. She can even pick out the exact appliances she wants at no cost to her. Sarah, the wedding planner, attempts to sweeten the deal as well, and she gets them a discount on their dinner, and she also throws in some monogrammed cigars as a tribute to Alex's deceased father. However, she doesn't manage to fit everything within their budget, bringing the total wedding cost to $31,000, $1,000 over their original budget. Meanwhile, Nicole finds them a great house option for $35,000 less than their budget, plus new appliances. And despite that insane deal, they still go for the wedding, which, by the way, had to be downsized anyway. The bulk of these episodes were filmed during peak Panera Bread, or whatever the fuck I'm supposed to call it. So they ended up having a small wedding instead. The show doesn't explain how that affected their budget, so I have no idea if they got like refunds or had to go with different vendors altogether or had to replan anything. So all we know is that they got married and they still live in their tiny apartment. They also plan to start IVF treatments, which good for them. But I also noted that this couple mentioned some school debt, meaning that after this wedding, not only have they depleted their savings entirely, they'll still be in debt and they'll still be renting while attempting to pay for IVF treatments, which are infamously expensive and take several rounds before they're really effective. So, sounds like everything you need for the start of a healthy and lasting marriage. Thanks, Marriage or Mortgage, you really did us a solid.